Hello, I'm going to be showing you how to use our Gale online resources today. So once you're in My Katie Cloud, you can go ahead and click on the magnifying glass and type in GALE for Gale online resources. Click any of the tiles if you have more than one. Go ahead and click Tompkins High School. And then you'll have all of these options. So depending on your topic, some of the other options may be good for you, like high school in context, environmental studies, science, opposing viewpoints, news, if you need those news articles, a couple of history ones as well, health and wellness. Depending on what you need, you can use those. But we're going to use Academic One File just for example. They all work pretty much the same. So I'm going to show you how to make a basic search. So if you type in an example, like how does stress impact students, you may notice that in this case, you'll get only a small number of results. But I'll show you in just a second how you can get more so you have more options to choose from. So on the right-hand side, some of the things that you'll need to do every time you search on Gale is to select peer-reviewed journals. This means that somebody else who is an expert in the field has checked them to make sure that nobody's making things up and just publishing things willy-nilly. You can also narrow by publication date if you're doing something like scientific or anything historical. You may need to narrow to a certain date range. You can browse by subjects if you'd like. So you could look at how maybe the epidemic has impacted stress for students or stress management, etc. You can search by document type if you need to, if you know a specific publication title you'd like to use. And you can also search inside your search that you originally made by typing an extra term right here. But I would generally not suggest typing in an entire sentence or an entire question like you might do on Google into a database. In a database, you're going to need to choose key terms. So for me, some of my key terms will be stress and students, right? And then right here, our Boolean operators are and, or, and not. You can change these to fit how you want to search. So if you're looking for maybe stress or, I don't know, mental health and students, right? It'll bring up anything that has either of those. If you're finding that something is coming up a lot and you're not interested in it, you can put not in that word and it will eliminate it from your search results. So let me go ahead and click search. And so now I get thousands of options for me to look through instead of just maybe 39 that I had previously or 38 once I did peer reviewed. I go ahead and check peer reviewed again, right? And it will give me just my academic journals because academic journals are the only place that you can find peer review. If I uncheck that though, I know you also may need news articles. You can filter for news articles by clicking the news article section on the top. Right, these are not peer reviewed because articles in newspapers are not peer reviewed before publishing, but you can use most of the other types of filter by like publication date, subject, document type, etc. I'm going to go back to academic journals and I'm going to show you our peer review. And we're also going to select the topic finder. So the topic finder is really great for helping you narrow in what you want to do. So it gives you commonly related things to the search that you made. So this can help you instead of having to look through all those thousands of results. You can click on some of these and it will show you in the results on the right some specific information. So for example, if you want mental health, like we had mentioned, if you want COVID-19, if you want medical students, if you want university students, nursing, etc., you can click on them. And on the right, it will give you more information about those topics. Right? And once you find an article that you like, so for example, I like maybe this one, and I want to use it, then I could open it up and start to use it. Once I'm on the actual page of the article that I want, there's a lot of useful tools. You can translate, you can change the text size larger or smaller. You can change some of the display options to have a different font if you need. There's one that is helpful for dyslexic students. You can change the page color, etc., however you want to do it. And you can also have it read it to you. It is a robot voice, but if you need it to read to you, you can have it do that. There's the information about the document up at the top. It's got suggestions for more like this. And then on the top right, it's got some really important things. So one of them is on the right-hand side, you'll notice that you can highlight. So you can make a highlight and add a note and save. And then at the end, when you've highlighted everything, you can see all of those highlights and notes on the right-hand side. You can send it to your Google Drive. If you click that, it will ask you to log into your Google Drive. I've already done it, so it will just send it to it automatically. And then it will pop up in your Google Drive with your highlights and your notes. You can also click the little citation button, and it will give you some example citations from multiple styles. You do need to double check these because they are automatically generated by the computer, so they can have some punctuation or capitalization errors, but it's much easier to just edit it than to start from scratch. So choose the one that you're using, APA or MLA usually, and then make sure you use all the same ones. Right, so you can look through here, and if you prefer to read it first, all of these tools are also, again, at the bottom for the citations. Okay. And if you need to, instead of send it to your Google Drive or your email, if you prefer, you can copy the link. This is a static link to get back to this page always. If you copy this link up at the top, it will not work. You'll get a 404 error message. So if you want to save the links instead of sending them to yourself, make sure you click that little Get Link button and copy that one. Let's go back to our topic finder, to our main page. All right. So you can also look at magazines, books, images, and videos. The videos may have some useful things for you, but in most cases, they don't have a lot of information. They're usually just short, like news clips and things like that. For videos, you'll have to find them somewhere else. All right, another useful database we have is called Jstor, Jstor. You're going to choose the one that says OTHS if you have more than one pop up. If it asks you to do the CAPTCHA to log in, go ahead and do that. Some of you won't. If you have your WebPass enabled, it may or may not ask you to do that. If it does, it's fine. Go ahead and do it. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'll use my advanced search. I'll put stress and students. And I'll have only content I can access, because if you can't access it, there's no real reason to need to look at it. And then you'll notice Jstor does not give you the option to choose between peer-reviewed and not peer-reviewed, because everything on Jstor is already from an academic journal or a book or a research report and already is peer-reviewed. So you don't have to worry about that. Most people are only going to want journals. So if you only want the shorter articles, go ahead and click that. You can choose for a date for it to be published on over here. It goes all the way back to BCE if you're doing anything super, super historical. You can narrow by subject if you would like. Once you decide that you like an article, you can click on it and then scroll through it. You don't have the easy option to make highlights and notes on here, but you can share it to either, I would say, your email personally, or download it and then use marking up tools to make those notes if you need to. The citations are on the left. You can pull a DOI, which will allow you to get back to this article always, or this stable URL that will take you back to this web page always. The citation is right here. And you can, again, copy and paste it into your bibliography and then double check to make sure that it's correct, because they are computer generated. All right, here's a couple quick tips on searching for Google. So some of the things that you can use are using quotation marks. So if you're looking for a specific phrase, you can type it in quotation marks, and it will find only things that have that exact phrase in them. Right, so you'll see a lot less results from unless you search it like this. You could say not and then put a word after it that you don't want it to include. You could put a minus sign and what you don't want it to include afterwards. And since you need to use a specific source, so you could put cite and gov, and it will give you only resources that have .gov as their website domain name. So as you can see, anything on here will be .gov. You can do the same thing for edu, etc. And that will help you find what you need. You can put an asterisk next to a word, and that will make it a wildcard. So if you want anything that's kind of related to that word, you can put that, and it will search for anything related to that word nearby. And again, leave cite with edu or gov or whatever you need it to be, and then you'll find some more information about it. We don't really have any websites that will let you access documentaries, but there is one from the public library, from Harris County Public Library, called Canopy. Canopy will let you watch 4 documentaries per month, I believe, through your public library card through Harris County Public Library. You can sign up even without living in Harris County. If you live anywhere in Texas and have a driver's license or a parent has a driver's license, you can register for a library card online. And yeah, this HCPL Knowledge Library Card or the HCPL I Know Digital Access Card, and it will let you access all of their online resources without having to go into a library. And that will let you access Canopy if you're not able to find a documentary through one of your other resources that you like.